Thank you. Hello. How are you doing? So, how does it feel? How are you doing?
It feels heavy.
This is hard to do with no biceps.
Well, you're just going to have to get used to weightlifting for it. Did you expect this when you were asked to do Dune? It's such an amazingly huge task. You've got to know that you were going to have to be at the top of your game for it, right?
Oh,
Please.
it's the microphone there. I don't know how to use those.
Yeah. What are these things? Dune's obviously a huge epic achievement from our great director Denis, and to have the honor to work with him and create the sound for this is just the best gig in the world. It's a dream gig, really, and we just loved every minute of it and cannot thank him enough.
Have we got any questions out here? Yeah.
Yes.
How will you celebrate tonight now you've won?
Greatly. I'm sure we'll have a nice glass and we're going to toast Denis and Joe and everybody that worked on it, because there's a lot of people that worked on the film, Hans Zimmer, everyone that really contributed to all the sound that went into this movie.
Congratulations. I was obviously very impressed by the sound of Dune, but me, not knowing anything about it, I wouldn't be able to describe it. So what were you trying to achieve? What makes the sound of Dune in your head, in your ears?
This guy.
I'll try to keep it simple. In traditional science fiction, you are presented with a number of images of fantastic things that you've never seen before. That's the attraction of science fiction. You're introduced to a new universe you've never seen before. So arguably, you should be introduced to a universe of things you've never heard before. The success, what we achieved on Dune, was creating a universe of sounds you've never heard before that felt like you had heard them before.
And how? Sorry to
Yeah, okay.
How do you achieve that? Like, do you sit around and just try out?
We sit around a lot.
Instead of weightlifting your awards.
Theo, please.
I mean, we avoid using sort of electronic and synthesized things a lot. We try and always find organic sources for our sounds. But as well as it being, an attempt to make a kind of documentary real version of a planet 10,000 years in the future, we also had this sort of heady aspect of Dune, the sort of the hallucinations, the visions. There's all this stuff that goes on inside the characters' heads. So, we got to explore. We had to explore two different worlds. One which was sort of documentary real. That's the way that we introduce people to the planets, and we did that with a lot of recordings of real things. And to get inside people's heads, that's the way we started using the trickery and the processing and all of our sort of studio tricks. But we kept that very, very limited just to those sort of visionary sequences.
A question over here.
You also nominated for an Academy Award, and obviously they cut that category from the broadcast. Do you have any thoughts
Oh,
about
I'd like to clarify. It is not cut from the broadcast. It will not be aired live, but it still will be in the broadcast.
Yeah, not part of.
We're still not
a live
happy
show.
about it.
True.
Well, compared to the BAFTAs, where we're part of this live show, which feels very inclusive, it's a very different thing. We'll be filmed, I believe, like an hour before, and then those speeches will be edited into the final show.
That's one thing we really do love about the BAFTA, is that we're all inclusive, very, very well respected here, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for the Twitch. I'm trying to say your name so I quote you accurately.
I'm Theo Green.
Mark Mangini.
Ron Bartlett.
And Mac Ruth.
All right, and we had one quick last question here in the front, I think.
What would you say is the hardest part about the job of this movie?
That was running around in the sand, doing all this.
Mac's job was.
It's actually a metaphor for our job. So
Getting the sand out of the microphones afterwards.
Yeah.
just the movement. It was hard. It was hard, but it was a wonderful opportunity and a wonderful job.
If you're looking for just maybe a little BTS, Theo and I began work on the voice. That weaponized tool that Paul uses and Lady Jessica uses. And that took almost 16 months to create, from day one when Denis tasked us, what does that sound like, till 16 months later, I think we finally got it. Almost on the last day of the sound mix.
It was crazy.
Wow.
We all tried different versions. The three of us were all pitching in. We must have done 6 or 8 each, and they were all tossed. We're like, oh my God, we were really
That
going to need
story.
to bring this and figure out something new, which is the beauty of what Denis does. It's very subtle, but he challenges you so much. You know, he wants your A game, you bring it and see what you got. And we did all that, and he's like, no, it's not quite there. And we really had to step it up and find this voice, really. And I know it sounds corny and pun, but it's true, where we really had to go after that and find, you know, fall on our face and allow us to make mistakes, which made us go even more creative and find the way we did that. And he's right, it went down to the last couple days of the mix of trying out things.
As a director, Denis never makes us feel stupid for doing something that ends up as a failure. That's something which I think encourages people to do original work without being embarrassed that someone's going to sort of say, what were you thinking?
It's the most amazing thing. I mean, he's such a gentleman, and he would never, you know, talk you down or say anything derogatory, but he inspires you so much to find that extra level and that extra gear. And that's why it sounds so great, is because of him.
Well, listen, thank you all so much. Congratulations again. And we'll leave you maybe like an hour of celebration before you get to work on Dune Part 2, please. Please, thank you very much. Thank you so much. That's all right. I've read the book. It's fine. It's fine.